Welcome to the Golden State Media Conference Baseball Podcast, where we cover all things Major League Baseball, from the latest news, rumors, to this year's top prospects, and all the news in between. I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Ben.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Doing pretty well. Ready. This is episode 1 here of the baseball podcast. Yes. We're getting started. I am really excited to get this going.
Yeah, this is a very special episode.
Yeah, it's our inaugural one, Jeremiah.
Yes. I'm ready for this.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everyone what we have a little bit going today for the podcast?
Yeah, we got major news that occurred throughout the week. Throughout each episode, we're gonna do one show each week. So we're gonna talk about everything, not everything, but the most important stuff that occurred in the week. But today's episode, we're gonna start off with the Manny Machado and Yordano Ventura altercation that happened on Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday night, the Baltimore Orioles were playing the Kansas City Royals. Yeah. And I believe it was in the 5th inning here that Yordano Ventura actually hit Manny Machado there in his side with a 99-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah, that was probably the fastest brutal pitch he threw all game.
Yeah. I think it was sort of a response because Machado had stared down a fly ball in the 2nd inning there that it ended up being a long out because the wind took it away, but he was looking at it like it was going to be a home run, and obviously Ventura did not really like that, so he retaliated with, he went for the jugular there, 99-mile-per-hour fastball there. Yeah, and remember, these two have been in altercations before throughout their whole careers, so they're kind of have reputations of being hotheads, if that's the correct term you want to call them. But yeah, I think they were both ejected from the game. By the way. Right away, really. Right away, because they went into a little brawl afterwards. Yeah. So nothing like the Odor-Batista feud, which we'll compare a little bit later. But they were ejected right away.
Yeah, Machado charged the mound, and Ventura was just ready to go. He took off his hat and gloves, and he's like, "What's a rumble?" So I was like, "Okay, all right."
Yeah, definitely. So, when I look at this, I really do compare it to the Odor-Batista feud.
Yeah, because it's so recent.
Yeah, it was only about a month ago. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm really opinionated on things like this because I feel like with baseball, there's obviously so many unwritten rules. You have people like Goose Gossage, been in the news lately, what he feels about hitters kind of showing up pitchers. You have Bryce Harper, who's on the other side of that, sort of the new era of the young baseball player. And I feel like there's such double standards here in baseball. When you have things like pitchers who, especially closers, it seems like, who really show up hitters, they might get a strikeout, a big game situation. Maybe the bases are loaded here. They're up by 1 run. They strike out to end the game. They're fist pumping, they're screaming, they're yelling. But you have a hitter, and he hits a home run, and he can't, stare down the ball, celebrate, look back at the pitcher. But a pitcher's okay with, celebrating. It's really a double standard here. So I'm not a big fan of that. So, because really this sort of culminated with Batista in the playoffs last year against the Rangers with the bat flip. And I didn't ever had an issue with that, and I still don't have an issue with that. And that's really what feuded the Odor-Batista feud a month ago, was that. So I don't have an issue with that. Like Machado staring down a ball he thought was a home run. If anything, the joke's on him because it was an out.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with that, but there's such a double standard here. Why can't a hitter stare down a ball? Why can't a hitter, show up a pitcher, but a pitcher could show up a hitter?
Yeah, I agree. There is a lot of unwritten rules there, in baseball. I'm not opposed to the bat flips, that because to me it's really nothing. But yeah, it is a double standard in a way.
What do you think about these? Do you think they're actually good for baseball? These kind of, I don't think a fight's obviously good in any sport. They let them fight in hockey, which I don't necessarily agree with because that could lead to so much more injuries when you're not even during the sport, during the field of play, which I don't agree with. But I don't necessarily think a fight is good, but think about it. It's good for the sport of baseball.
What, a fight or?
What, these fights are good for the sport of baseball.
No, I don't think a fight is good in any sport.
We're talking about baseball in June.
Yeah.
People don't talk about baseball in June.
No, they don't.
So this is good for the sport of baseball because we're talking about it.
Well, when you're a
what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Like if you're talking about nationally, I don't think it's bad publicity.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's bad publicity.
Well, really, any publicity is good publicity.
I'm not. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You can have some bad press. Trust me. But trust me. Yeah, I don't think it's good for the game and for the sport. But when you're talking about it, it's good in a way because they're getting press, but it's negative.
Exactly.
It's negative publicity. It's negative press.
Because with the problem with the baseball, really, as a part of a popularity stance, is that it's much older game. It's a really slower game. The demographic for baseball is a lot older, as opposed to most of the young kids are really into football, basketball. It's a lot faster pace.
They're even into soccer nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. Which I am huge into soccer. Yeah. So, but
I know
it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the sport, in my opinion. I don't agree with the fighting. They're getting a little too hot tempered here. It was obvious that Ventura hit him on purpose.
Yeah.
And really, I feel like the pitcher has total control of everything. Because, sometimes, you do throw a curveball and doesn't curve, gets away from the pitchers. But they have total control. They can hit you anytime they want. Which is really sad because he's throwing the ball 100 miles an hour. He could really hurt someone, okay?
Yeah.
But they have total control over everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, did you actually see that what this Baltimore restaurant did with Manny Machado?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes.
So he actually got free seafood for life. So the story here is it's Jimmy's famous seafood in Baltimore. So after Machado had charged the mound and started punching Ventura, he actually got a good punch on him there. Nothing like Odor got on Batista, don't get me wrong, but he landed a good shot on him, okay?
Threw him to the ground, too.
Yeah. So actually, Jimmy's Seafood gives Manny Machado free seafood for life. It's Jimmy's Seafood in Baltimore. The tweet here is free crab cakes, steamed crabs, and meal preps for life for Manny Machado. He's a real man, definitely not soft. I think that's funny.
I know, it's hilarious.
It's something to laugh about.
But going back to the fight, you saying that it's good for the game. Well, I kind of want to talk about that. The only thing that I agree with is defending yourself. Manny Machado had every right to defend himself.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And even Buck Showalter, the Baltimore manager, and his teammate Adam Jones, they're like, you got to defend yourself. And I agree. That's kind of like going back to the Batista and Odor fight. Batista wanted to defend himself in that fight because Odor is the one that started, I believe, right?
Oh, I mean, I feel like it was really back and forth because depending on how you look at it, you could say Batista started with the bat flip, and then you have the retaliation with getting hit. Batista got hit in his last at-bat of the last game of the season between the two. So they waited until literally the last second to retaliate. Okay.
That's the last time they're playing, too,
right,
the season.
Right. And then you have Batista sort of retaliation of that by doing a hard slide into Odor when he tried to turn double play. So then you have Odor retaliating to that with the punch. So you have really just a snowball effect of like 4 or 5 events.
Yeah. Well,
So in that instance, Ronald Odor got suspended 8 games, and Joey Bats got suspended 1 game. So Jeremiah, what do you think that Machado and Ventura get suspended in this situation?
They're definitely going to get suspended. I think it could be up to 8 to 10 games. By the way, I kind of think
for both of them.
Like
you're thinking 8 to 10 games each?
Maybe Ventura. He deserves the blame in this situation.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that provoked the situation. So I think he's going to get suspended more games.
Do you think they're going to sort of look at this instance as, okay, you saw what happened between Texas and Toronto. You guys need to learn from that. You obviously didn't by doing the same thing a month later. Do you think they're going to take that into consideration and be much harder on these two because of that?
I think they are.
Okay, so what do
you think about these two guys? They have a history of altercations throughout their careers, and these guys are only like Machado. I think is like 23, and
they're both really young. And they're both obviously good players, but they're still rising prospects in a way.
Yeah, there's still like Machado has emerged as one of the top hitters in the game, and Ventura he's struggled this year. But he had a really good rookie year. But still, these guys have. I think it's the only way these players are going to learn about, fighting in the game. They're going to be disciplined. Yeah.
So, give me an exact prediction. What do you think? How many games?
I'm going to stick to 8 to 10 games. I know that might be a little harsh for Machado, but I think it's I think it's better if they get suspended the equal amount of games. Because I still think Batista could have got more than one, and Odor should definitely got suspended more than 8 games.
Think so?
Yeah, you kidding me?
Okay, so I think when you look at these suspensions, I don't think it's fair. Okay, because say you suspend Ventura for 8 games. Okay. He's only missing one start.
He did get suspended 7 games, I think, last season, too.
Okay, so he has a history.
Yeah, he has a history of that, yeah.
So, say you suspend him, let's just throw out 7 again, okay? He's only missing one start. He should only play 1 every 5 days on average. Okay, so I think there's definitely a little bias there because Machado gets suspended 7 games. He's truly missing 7 games. Yeah. You know, Ventura's only going to miss 1, maybe 2 starts. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Maybe 8 to 10. I don't think it was as bad as Batista Odor.
Not, but I think.
But I think that the history there and trying to learn from last month, because baseball doesn't want this.
No.
So I think maybe if they take that into consideration, they'll maybe be a little more harsh on them. So I think 8 to 10 sounds about fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So we agree on 8 to 10 games.
Yeah, that sounds a little fair. I think definitely that Ventura initiated the problem here. They're both to blame, obviously, but I think Ventura might get a little harsher, but at the same time, it's not really harsher because he only plays once every 5 days as a starting pitcher, so there's a little bit of bias there.
Yeah. I agree. You can't, it's the perfect number. Not the perfect number, but I think it's the number that is going to be around there, 8 to 10 games.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to take a really quick commercial break. We're going to take a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back in. We're going to jump into the possibility that Madison Bumgarner will be in the Home Run Derby next month. We'll be right back here on the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we are back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast alongside Jeremiah. I am Ben. Now we're going to move into a little bit of interesting news, which alongside I would think would be good for baseball, is the possibility of Madison Bumgarner going into the Home Run Derby at next month's All-Star break. Jeremiah, what do you know about it?
Last weekend, Bumgarner took batting practice at Busch Stadium, before their series finale against the Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was putting on a show, hitting long balls, including one in the Big Mac land, in the upper deck up there in St. Louis. So, yeah, man, he even told Buster Olney of ESPN that he wants to be in the Derby, and if he's invited, he's going to do it.
Yeah, Bumgarner's definitely the best hitting pitcher, let alone just power. He's got 11 home runs in his last 3 seasons, and he's got 13 career home runs.
Matter of fact, I got some numbers.
Okay,
numbers.
Why don't you throw them out there?
Yeah, Bumgarner, like you said, Bumgarner has 11 home runs in his last 90 plate appearances. This is dating back since his last home run last Thursday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, against the Braves. There's 2 other players that have the same amount of home runs and the same amount of plate appearances. That is Bryce Harper and Mike Trout.
Definitely 2 of the best hitters in the game. Bryce Harper, much more of a power hitter than Trout, I would say, but still, they both have some pop.
Even though Bumgarner has more strikeouts, but still.
Yeah, Bumgarner, it's either a home run or a strikeout. He's swinging for the fences at all times.
But yeah, man, I think it'd be great for baseball for Bumgarner to join.
Yeah, definitely. It would definitely give me a reason to watch the Home Run Derby. I've never been a big fan of the Home Run Derby. It seems like everyone who wins it sort of has a falling place after that, doesn't have a really good home run statistical second half of the season. I know that, Josh Hamilton for a while back was he hit the record.
I think he had he was back-to-back champions at one point.
And then he sort of had a falling out in the second half of the season after he won it. So, but as far as Bumgarner in it, he'd be the first pitcher. He's definitely going to I would say he has a chance to do it. I mean, he swings for the fences every time. It would be in San Diego, which is Petco Park, which is known as not a hitter's park, which might have, go against him. But you know what? It would go against everyone because everyone's they're hitting in the same spot. So he hasn't got a home run in Petco Park. He's 3 of 24 lifetime there, so he hasn't hit a home run there. But I think it would be good for the sport.
Yeah, not only that, it'll probably be memorable. Because think about it. Can you name me, like, the last 3, like, home run derby champions and, like, the memories from those past 3 contests?
I know that Cespedes won it.
He won it back-to-back, and then Todd Frazier won it last year. But why can't you tell me about those home run derby?
I really can't.
Exactly. But with Bumgarner and the derby, there's going to be a lot of memories from that contest.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really watch it. I think I compare it to sort of like the All-Star game in the NBA with like the skills, the three-point shootout, the dunk. It's not necessarily as popular. A lot of people watch it. A lot of baseball people watch it, but it's not really for me. So with Bumgarner in it, though, it's going to get me to watch it. Exactly.
A lot of people are going to watch it, and they're going to want to see. Because home run derby, it's all a show. Hitting long balls, that's all it is. That's what Bumgarner does at batting practice. And he's going to hit, like, balls that are, like, thrown at...
It's basically batting practice.
Yeah, 69, 70 miles an hour. Yeah, they're not going to go 99. So,
yeah. I would like to see it. Do you think it's going to happen, though?
I don't think...
He wants to do it.
He wants to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen because Giants manager Bruce Bochy, he's very, very reluctant to have him in there.
Do you think the MLB would even invite Mad Bum, though?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't really answer that. I don't work in the front office.
As far as the MLB is concerned, I say why not?
Yeah.
It would be great publicity. It would get people to watch it.
This will actually be good for the game.
Of course it would be, yeah.
Unlike the negative publicity it had over the past few months. But yeah,
Yeah, as you mentioned with Mad Bum here, he has some notable home run rates over his last 2 seasons. So he hits a home run at 6% of his plate appearances. Second would be Edwin Encarnacion at 5.8. So he's ahead of guys like Trout, as you mentioned. Batista's at 5.6%. Cespedes, who won it a couple of years ago, is at 5.7%. So the long ball's there for Mad Bum. Obviously, he doesn't get the plate appearances these guys do because he's only hitting once every 5 days. But I think it'd be great. As you mentioned, say MLB were to invite him. Say Mad Bum's like, definitely, I'm all in board for it. I don't see the manager, Bruce Bochy, allowing it to happen.
Well, Bochy did say he was going to have discussions with the Giants front office about his aspirations.
Okay.
So I think if they can work some out, dude, I think it could happen. But it probably won't happen.
I kind of compare it to how you have the slam dunk contest in the NBA, and not a lot of the big stars are doing it.
Yeah,
because they don't really want to risk injury. They don't want to risk going up for a dunk and pulling a hamstring, twisting their knee. Mad Bum's not. He's hitting the home runs, but he's not there to hit home runs for the Giants. He's there to win games pitching. He's there for crunch time. He's got a sub-1 ERA in the World Series. It's an even year for the Giants. They have that even year sort of conspiracy going on. So. And over his last few starts, he's been just absolutely dominant. He's not there to hit home runs. He's there to pitch. This is a chance for an injury. The Giants are a really conservative team. They do give their players a lot of rest, a lot of days off. I don't see it happening, but I really hope it does.
Yeah, I don't see it happening for that reason. He's there to, pitch. But, yeah, I would love to see it happen.
Yeah, it'd be great.
As a baseball fan, I would love to have a pitcher compete against sluggers, like Mike Trout, Nelson Cruz. I can go on and on, possible participants in that contest. But yeah, I think it'll be exciting, and it will definitely be a show.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but I mean, I really wish it did. That'd be awesome. I think it'd be, like you mentioned, it'd be good for the sport because baseball's kind of slacking here, as we mentioned earlier. It's got a lot of. It's not pulling in the young fans. The games are going on a lot longer. There's a lot of in between times between pitches. Pitching changes, hitters, pinch hitters. They got to try and do something. This would be great.
Well, not only that, he is a very big name. He has.
Yeah, he's one of the most popular players out there, pitchers. He's known for, what he did in the World Series a couple of years ago against the Royals, Game 7, when he threw five innings
save.
Yeah, and, he was the MVP of that. He's not like a fresh face. He's really popular.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think it'll be good. A lot of people are going to watch because of his name.
Exactly.
The Mad Bambino could be born.
I would love that. I don't see it happening, but I mean, we'll have to see, because the Giants already have a lot of injury concerns.
Exactly.
Hunter Pence is on the DL currently. He has a torn hamstring. He'll probably be out another 7-8 weeks.
The rotation's also hurting. Matt Cain's on the DL after a couple good starts.
So I feel like definitely the Giants. You mentioned that Bochy's going to sit down and have a discussion about this, because as you mentioned, Bumgarner really wants to do it. Who knows if baseball will invite him or not? But at the end of the day, I feel like they're going to tell him no.
Not only that, they're also in first place too in the NL West.
Exactly. It's not like they're like a bottom feeder in the league where their season's already over.
It's not like they're the Padres.
Yeah. And with a pitcher is the position that most gets injured, and they have a lot of lengthy injuries. I mean, Tommy John has an injury named after him.
Yeah.
So, baseball, it's mainly pitchers that get hurt because they're having to throw, not just during the games, but they have side sessions every other day, etc. I don't see him taking a chance here.
Yeah.
With him in the Derby.
Yeah.
It'd be great, but
he wants to do it though. I don't know. He really wants to do it. I don't know.
You think they maybe just throw him a bone and say, "Okay, we'll give you one time. We'll give you one time to do it."
Maybe, yeah. I can definitely see it. Definitely doing that one time. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I would love it.
I don't think it's gonna happen though. Like you said, but it'll be cool.
Yeah, it would definitely be. It would definitely be great for the sport. Great for the.
It'd be bigger than the All-Star game.
I don't know if I'd go there because
I think it might.
Because the All-Star game, I love baseball's All-Star game because it gives you a reason to watch it because they're playing for something.
Exactly.
The winner of the All-Star game has home field advantage in the World Series. So usually you'd have the team with the better record would have the most home games. Say it went 7 games, they'd have 4 as opposed to the visiting team would have 3. But in baseball, the way it is whoever wins the All-Star game, no matter what records they are, the respective league's winner will have home field advantage. It gives you a reason to watch it. No other sport has that. Baseball is top when it comes to the All-Star game. So, and then even with Mad Bum, he's going to be an All-Star.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that he could even pitch in the All-Star game. So do you really want to risk him, maybe going out there for the home run derby when the Giants, as you mentioned, are in first place, have a really strong rotation? Could be a chance that they're going to be in the World Series. So this game could mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
Does that mean Bumgarner going out there for the home run derby maybe hinders his chance to play in the All-Star game, pitches long? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, with pitchers, they're, with any kind of injury, in the arm, shoulder, elbow, anything, it's always like a DL concern.
Absolutely.
And Bumgarner has he'll have a chance to probably, get a shoulder, injury, probably some soreness and all that. So it is a concern. So that's why I don't think it will happen. But do I want it to happen?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would be great for the game, great for the sport, and it would, like you mentioned, it would give us a reason to watch something that's not necessarily the most popular thing. Obviously, when it comes to baseball,
the
home run is like the most high-profile thing, but it's kind of like the most exciting thing in baseball is the home run, a walk-off, grand slam, etc. Yeah. So it's definitely would interest people more, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, but if it does happen,
do you give him a chance if it happens? If he was actually in there against some of the top home run hitters, would you actually give him a chance?
I see him probably going past the first round, but I don't see him actually winning it because because he's not a pitcher. I mean, he's not a hitter.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him much of a chance.
I would give him to win it. That would actually be the story. We could probably, if that does happen, and if he wins the Derby,
that would be the story of baseball. I think.
Not only that,
at least the first half of the season.
We'll probably do our whole show on that.
I mean,
down the line, but
we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't know if he's going to be in or not. The All-Star break is next month. It's going to be in San Diego at Petco Park, as we mentioned. We are going to, jump into our last commercial break here. We're going to talk back with a little bit of prospect watch. Talk about some of the top rookies in both the leagues. We'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast. So what we have up next, Ben?
Oh, next we're going to be talking about some of the hot prospects here, maybe some Rookie of the Year news. It's really early still, but it's never too early to start talking about them.
Yeah, well, this prospect talk to begin things is Julio Urias.
Yeah, Julio Urias, the young Dodger pitcher from Mexico.
19 years old. Wow.
Yes, 19. What am I doing with my life?
Exactly.
You know, he's 19, already playing in the big leagues, and I'm, obviously I'm grateful for everything, but he's living the dream. He's living it up. Yeah,
not only that, he's been a professional baseball player since 17. So it's not like he just went out there, but he came up from AAA, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's gone through a few starts now. He's had 3 starts here. He's not doing the greatest, but I mean he's still so young. He's still, according to most people, the top baseball pitching prospect in the whole major leagues. So.
Yeah, not only that, in each of his 3 starts, he has shown signs of progress. He got roughed up by the New York Mets. He got walloped in Chicago last week, but on Tuesday, he struck out 7 over 4 innings against the Colorado Rockies. So
yeah, that's pretty good. He's almost getting 2 an inning in that last start.
Yeah.
So.
He threw like 80 pitches in that inning. I think he threw like 86 in that game.
He only gave up 1 run, and obviously in 4 innings, it was not a really long start here, but it was his best start as a professional, and it seems like he's sort of getting more and more comfortable every time he goes on. He's currently got an ERA of 6.94. So he's not doing the greatest there, but as we mentioned, he is still super, super young. He's got a whole future ahead of him. And, when you look at the Dodgers, they need another pitcher there with the loss of Zach Greinke, who went to the Diamondbacks in free agency.
They got injuries to that rotation, too.
As well, obviously, they have they have the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion, in Clayton Kershaw. Yeah. So, with this kid, Julio Urias, he could definitely, be a great addition as the years go on to complement Kershaw and some of the others.
Yeah, none of that, but something else to point out. The Dodgers won Tuesday's game 4-3, and that was the first time they won a game that he started.
Yes. The first of he's had 3 starts. That was their first win. They beat the Rockies 4-3, as you mentioned. In his first 2 starts, he had lost. Both of them were on the road too, which I think plays a factor there. Yeah. Obviously, in front of your home crowd, you're a lot more comfortable. So his first 2 starts were on the road. He lost against the Mets and he lost against the Cubs. Yeah, 2 great teams also.
Yeah, exactly. He's not facing like scrubs or anything like that. But he had a tough competition to start off his career. Not only that, he's also his start got bumped up to Sunday. He's going to face the Giants on national TV. So.
Yeah, it's going to be obviously the biggest rival the Dodgers have with the Giants. I was at a Giants game earlier this year when they played the Dodgers. So definitely another pressure game. Is going to be on the road at AT&T Park. So another road start for the young Mexican.
Yeah. And then going back to his first start against the Mets, I think the spotlight got kind of too big for him because he is in the number 1 market in America, even though he pitches for the 2nd highest market in the country.
Yeah, LA.
And it was on national TV, so that I think he got a little jittery a little bit.
I'm sure he did. He's still a kid. He's only 19. He's going to turn 20 in August. So
yeah, and then I think he was the first teenager to pitch a game since King Felix Hernandez.
And we saw how he's turned out.
Exactly,
He was a former Cy Young Award winner in the American League. So
yeah. But
who else you got here, Jeremiah? You got a lot on this list here.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of another prospect that got caught up yesterday, Jameson Taillon from the Pittsburgh Pirates pitched a really good game against the I believe the New York Mets as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he went 6 innings. He did give up 3 runs, as Jeremiah and I were talking off the break here. He did give up a 2-run home run, so he only gave up 1 big hit there. He pitched 6 innings. He had 3 strikeouts. A really solid effort for his first start.
Yeah, and they actually optioned him back to AAA this morning.
So maybe just a call up. They are a little banged up there on the back half of the rotation, so they needed someone to step up here and get a start. And as opposed to the Dodgers, Julio Urias, he had a very good start, and he's a little older. He's 24 years old as opposed to 19, so there is a 5-year difference there. But he did not let, at least in the first start, his jitters get to him.
Yeah, well,
pitched really well.
The thing about both of these pitchers is both of their teams are trying to keep their pitch count down. Because Tylon, I said his name wrong.
It's okay.
He actually was injured, I think, in the first couple years in the minors. So they're trying to keep his innings a little bit down. And Urias, they're obviously keeping his innings down because of his age. You don't want to burn out your young pitcher too quickly.
Yeah. So he did not get the win. He did get a no decision, but he will be back down in AAA now. So he is where he's currently 4-2 with a ERA of 2.04. So just a little over ERA of 2 in the minors there.
Not only that, the Pirates also have another pitching prospect, Tyler Glasnow, who might get the call later this summer. But I don't know. We'll get back to them if. A lot
of young pitchers for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I can see them sticking in rotation end of the year. As they're in a tough division, so they're obviously going to need both of those guys.
The NL there's really the Reds,
the Cubs,
Pirates, Cubs, Cardinals, all really great teams.
Yeah, so they're going to definitely need Tylon and Glasnow coming up, later this season. But moving on to rookies that have been playing,
this has been it's been a great rookie class so far.
Exactly.
We're still really early in the season, just a couple months now. But when you compare it to last year's rookie class, which had a number of great names as well, it's really stacking up nicely for this year.
Not only that, the young shortstops are playing really well. It's a good year for shortstops. So, we're heading to our favorite rookie of the year candidates.
That's right. As you mentioned, some of the young shortstops, 2 of them in the NL and 2 of them in the NL West, Jeremiah.
Yeah, exactly. So I got 2 names in the NL and in the American League as well. So my 2 names in the National League is Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager.
Yeah, so Corey Seager here, he's actually leading the Dodgers in batting average, home runs, RBIs, and hits, just for a rookie.
Exactly. Not only that, he had that big weekend last 5 home runs.
Yes, so he's currently batting .283. He's got 14 home runs, 35 RBIs, and he's got 66 hits.
Yeah,
with a lot of great hitters here. Adrian Gonzalez, Chase Utley's a little older, but he was a great hitter. Yasiel Puig, Jock Peterson, who was a rookie last year, obviously a great hitter as well, and Justin Turner. So good lineup for the Dodgers, and Seager, the rookie, is leading pretty much everything.
Yeah, not only that, he hits number 2 in that lineup. So that says a lot about the type of player he is. And my other name, Trevor Story.
Yes.
Colorado Rockies.
Tell me the story on Trevor.
The story about
Did you like that
Story?
there?
Yeah. Trevor Story has been quite a story this year. Yeah. Especially his first week, he had like 7 home runs. I thought he was going to hit a home run every game.
Yes, he does have the advantage of playing in a hitter's ballpark in Colorado, obviously with the atmosphere and the climate there. The ball really carries. You look at like Mile High with the Denver Broncos, seems like they're blasting 60-yard field goals and touchbacks all the time. So Trevor Story, he's not really doing too well with the average. He is batting .258. But as you mentioned, he's got 16 home runs and 42 RBIs for the Rockies.
Yeah, he hit 7 his first week, as I previously said. And the American League, 2 names I got is Nomar Mazara from the Texas Rangers.
Yes, right fielder. Yes.
Yeah, outfielder. He is hitting .319, I believe, right now.
Well, it might have just gotten bumped up after last night. He did get a hit. He's hitting .321. And a lot of like Corey Seager is with the Dodgers. He's leading his team in average, home runs, and he's leading in on-base percentage. Adrian Beltre does lead the Rangers in RBIs with 40. But Nomar Mazara, as you mentioned, has 10 home runs, 321 average, and he currently has, let me see here, he has 27 RBIs. So doing a lot with the little there.
Yeah, and to me, I think he's the hands-on favorite right now.
For the AL Rookie of the Year?
For the AL Rookie of the Year, yeah. If he...
Yeah, it seems like a lot of times they go with the awards more so to everyday players as opposed to pitchers. You have seen a couple of MVPs as pitchers, and I look at people like Verlander and Kershaw recently, but a lot of times they go with a lot of the hitters as opposed to the pitchers.
Well, not only that, remember Jacob deGrom won Rookie of the Year, I think, last season. Oh no, the year before that. Yeah, the year before.
Yeah, the Mets have a lot of young, good pitchers. Syndergaard, DeGrom, Harvey's sort of making
Steven Matz, don't forget about him.
Harvey's sort of making a comeback again too.
Don't forget about Steven Matz. He might actually be a Rookie of the Year candidate as well. So,
but which did not make your list. Maybe as the season goes on, perhaps we'll have to do an update. Maybe he'll be up there.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, because that was a problem for him last year in his career in the minors. So if he stays healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if he won Rookie of the Year. But yeah,
all right, Jeremiah, you have one more name on the list here for the AL Rookie of the Year. Why don't you tell us who it is?
Yeah, it's kind of a dark horse candidate, an underrated pick. Michael Fulmer from Detroit Tigers.
Yes, as a pitcher we mentioned. Do you think him being a pitcher is going to hinder him in this award if he continues the start he's having, which we'll jump into in a minute?
I think if Mazzara keeps hitting the way he does, I think Fulmer's going to have a tough time.
Okay.
Getting the award. But Fulmer's been lights out in his past 3 to 4 starts. I think he's pitched deep into the game. I think 7 innings in.
Yeah, he's pitched at least 6 innings in his last 4 starts.
Last 4 starts, and I think last 3 he's pitched into the 7th or 8th.
Yeah, he hasn't given up a run in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, so he's been really impressive for that team.
Yeah,
that really needed a back end starter in that rotation.
Yeah, he's currently got an ERA of 2.83, and he is 6-1 with 49 strikeouts.
Yeah, I remember he didn't do so well in his first couple of starts either. So, the fact that he's doing so well, big boost to that rotation. But yeah, I think he's a dark horse candidate for this award.
Yeah, a lot of, as you look at his sort of 10-game log here, he hasn't really gone too deep, except recently. His first 4 starts, he didn't go past 5 innings.
Yeah.
But his last 4 starts here, since then, he's gone at least 6 innings, and 3 of them he went at least 7 innings. So he's doing really well, and he's having a great rookie year. Which with pitchers, they kind of have an adjustment period going from the minors to the majors more so because the hitters are so much more dynamic, such better hitters. So, and he's sort of teaming along with Justin Verlander here. He's got a great mentor in him, someone he could really look up to, who. He's got it done years for now. So
yeah, so those are my top candidates. Do you have any, or?
I mean, I think you touched on a lot of them. Okay. If the season ended today, who would you go with?
The season ended in these 2 categories?
Yes. If say the season were to end today, who would you go with?
I would go with Seager in the National League and Mazzara in the American League.
I think Seager definitely has the advantage over Trevor Story because he's not really hitting as well average-wise.
Not only that, Trevor Story strikes out a lot.
Yeah, he's sort of like home run or bust in a way, and he's in a great hitter's ballpark, so I think that definitely plays well for him, but voters probably take that into consideration here. And in the AL, I'd probably go with Mazzara, as you mentioned. So. All right, Jeremiah, so this is going to conclude our first episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
Yeah, and before we end, I want to give a quick shout-out to the Oklahoma Sooners softball team for defeating
Auburn. The Women's College World Series concluded last night.
Yeah, defeating the Auburn Tigers 2-1 in the Women's College World Series, and behind a complete game from Sooners pitchers Paige Parker. So
I think it's crazy how these college softball, I actually, believe it or not, used to be really into that, and every time it would be on, I would watch it. I find it fascinating how these women can do this because it's not like how it is nowadays in baseball where you're pitching once every 5 days. With these, they're pitching every game, and they're throwing 100 pitches, 150 pitches. They're literally the only pitcher in the game. And yet they seem to pitch every day and dominate.
Yeah, that's something I noticed. I used to be the Sacramento State softball beat writer when I was a sports writer for the State Hornet, the student.
Yes, the college paper.
Yeah, and man, I appreciate the game a lot more. With the work that these women, the women had to go through, they pitch every single game. Not only that, they just don't pitch like 3 games. They pitch like 4 innings. They could probably
they're pitching complete games every time out.
Every time, and it's
constantly, the top pitchers around the world, they're constantly giving up, at the most 2 runs a game.
Exactly.
So it seems like almost whoever has the best pitcher come down, and when it comes to the Women's College World Series, whoever has the best pitcher is almost guaranteed to win, and they're a lot of times low scoring games. So
yeah, it's
Yeah, big shout out there to the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, it's their third national title in softball. So
yeah, they definitely have a nice little program going there.
Yeah, congrats to them. So that concludes our show for you guys.
That is going to be it for today, unfortunately. Make sure you go on to gsmcpodcast.com. That's where all the podcasts are going to be. We also have a plethora of other podcasts. There's a lot of sports ones. There's other stuff if you're not a sports person, stuff like health and fitness. There's stuff like weird news, movies, TV, relationships. There's so many to go on there. Make sure you go on there. You're going to like them all, I promise. Yeah. You can also follow us on Twitter. It's at GSMC_baseball. There's going to be direct links to all the podcasts we have. We're going to retweet out some of the best ones also on the network. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. That's another place to listen to us. Really, any sort of media playback system you have out there.
Google Play,
Stitcher, SoundCloud. Jeremiah's thrown out all of them here. They're all on there. The baseball podcast is going to be on there. We're going to be live every Thursday uploading. So you're going to want to make sure you subscribe and listen to all of them because they're all going to be great. Right, Jeremiah?
Oh, yeah. They're all going to be so great.
All right, so that's going to conclude it here, as always, on the Baseball Podcast. I am Ben.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good week.